because he's going to talk about Africa. What's going on, Brother Kellen? And he's going to share some information with us about some of those so-called S-hole countries that are really profound and amazing. And
before Brother Kellen speaks, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy to meet you.
You as well. You
virtually,
as well.
Virtually. But the S-hole countries, I know a couple of people who have recently traveled out to Africa, to Ghana and to Kenya in particular. And the protocol Americans have to go through to visit those S-hole countries is very, very stiff. Very stiff. And they ain't just letting Americans bop their way over there anymore. So we all S-hole countries.
I heard that. Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm talking to my brother Kellen. Please, brother, let people know who you are, and thanks for stepping in. And I know Brother Phil was really wanting to be with us and things like that. But thank you for stepping in and filling in the gaps and giving people some vital information. Doc, when you hear this brother speak about what he's doing in Africa, not just sightseeing, because a lot of people go there to sightsee and take some pictures. But this brother's doing one of the most important things is establishing business relationships and creating economic wherewithal for our people, not only here in the States, but also for our people in the mother country. So I definitely got to.
Where are you headquartered, Brother Kellen?
I currently live in South Florida, just relocated from Seattle, Washington. And Phil did want to be here, and I just switched it on us since you wanted to do this next week. I said, let me pause my date night with my wife real quick and give this game. So I said, I told Sed I got a certain amount of time, and then I got to go back and, go back into a Romeo mode. But what we're talking about is, like my shirt says, invest in Africa now. If y'all people can see it, of a model. And what we're doing in Africa, it's not what we're doing as we're as a collective, what we're doing. Speaking about the African Diaspora News Network, last year, we brought 30 people to Kenya, and that was a collaboration with various companies. And so with Unity, we all win is a hashtag I like to say. Now, one of the things that we really need to do outside of sightseeing, because you do need to come sightsee and see if Africa is for you. But one of the things we're doing is investing. Now, the investment part is something that it's a little easier for me because my wife is from Cameroon and her people, are established, in certain doors that we want to open were open like that. And even in Grambling, some of those doors were opened when you and I went to Grambling, and my wife went to Grambling, and all, most of her siblings went to the Harvard of the South, Grambling State.
Already. Right now, go ahead.
So we need to invest. I do want to share this book, 101 Ways to Make Money in Africa. It's sold on Amazon. You can get it for cheaper on Kindle, but I'll tell you, I've been writing in this book since I got it. And this really has over 5 million ways to make money and $5 million worth. And Dr. Harnett, and you'll also see the brother John Paul, who is a good brother as well. So what I do is I'm a consultant, a PR guy, and whatever other title, we'll sweep the floor if that is part of the mission. But we really want people to come to Africa. And what's kind of unique right now is, everybody has an excuse not to go to Africa because I don't know somebody. Now we have a program through a partner of ours, Ty Nichols, that you can see on the African Diaspora News channel. We've also had him on my own show, Diversified Game, which can be seen everywhere as well. And he is bringing families and people to Africa. So you can come to Africa, and he's not just bringing you to Africa, but he's housing you, he's feeding you, but he's also showing you how to make money in Africa. and that's in real estate. So you could sell one house in Africa, and it might be a $6,000 commission. Why is that a big deal? Because for $3,000 a month in most African countries, especially in Rwanda, you are considered rich. You can afford house help. You can afford your driver. You can afford whatever you can think of. So there's really no reason, because now you know somebody. And Ty Nichols, we have vetted. And if you see on my shirt, I don't know if y'all can see it. I don't want to show y'all the real six pack.
Yeah.
But we have the Mall of Africa.Africa. The mall, it's Mall of Africa.Africa. There's also a .com, but that's a multi-million-dollar business that's not mine yet. But if you go to the Mall of Africa.Africa and sign in your name and look at the investments, we've vetted over 7 investments that you could get into now, most of them for under $1,000, and you're going to make more than 15% of your money in less than a year, which is better than most people can get at their bank.
Absolutely.
Even with your CD account. So,
Kellen, may I ask you something, brother?
Yes, sir.
I have a friend of mine who is in Ghana now to do business. I just want to connect you all because you may be able to help him from over here. I think it's great what you're doing. I'm happy. That's some really important information. This is information activist type information.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the connect, because you might think I'm doing him or you a favor, but you're really doing me a favor, because that energy is what we need. We need our people here to stop complaining, because we have a home. We have 54 homes if we choose to. So the day that this does not work out, we can go do this wherever in the world and still monetize this, but be where, I didn't grow up with house help. I'm from Okanda. That's Oakland after you see Black Panther. and we didn't have any house help. So we sure would have loved some, right? I guess we were the house help.
Yeah.
Let me, that was my introduction. So let me be quiet. And if there's another question, feel free to.
No, go ahead, man. I just I'm going to connect you guys.
Yeah, man. And see, this is what this is all about. And those that are tapped in, please make sure you share and like and get the research. I want you to mention the website again, Mall of Africa. But also I want you to talk about the importance of Oakland, right? And the fact that Oakland is not becoming or is changing from the Oakland that you was raised up on and Zim was raised up on, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Zim, and now it's becoming harder and harder for us to live in these places that we were raised up in, you know what I'm saying? And I know many of us call it gentrification, regentrification, but I was thinking about it. Doc, and I want to share this out with my brothers and sisters, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just about taking the land. It's about taking the culture. It's about taking the essence of because when we go into a place, we change the essence of that place. The rhythm is different. Motown, right? Chocolate City. You can't call DC Chocolate City no more. Oaktown. You understand? So when we go into these places, we bring a spirit, we bring an essence, we bring a vibe and a vibration there. And that when those that come in, especially the bohemian whites, the young folk, they come in, they feel that vibe. They tap into that. They want to be a part of that, right? And then the value of the prices of the homes and the property rises exponentially. Washington Post did an article on it a couple of weeks ago talking about a sister in Chicago. She acted as if she was African-American, and she got one price. Then she went back and acted as if she was white. It was an increase of 30 to 60% in terms of the offers that she received for her property. So we do know that there's a difference. But one of the things that I do want to make the difference in saying is that they're not just coming in and getting those bungalows. They're not just coming in to get those fourplexes, right? They're not coming in just to get that property. There's a spirit there. There's an essence. There's a vibe and vibration, as we call it. The young people today, they say there's a drip. So I really want you to talk about that, brother, in Oakland, so people can understand how profound and how prolific that area is. And hopefully we can maintain and keep it that way.
Well, Oakland, for the good and the bad history that it has, it's rich, and we miss it every time I go back, and I have to go back to see family. But I almost got into it. We call them Mzungus right now because we're using Swahili trying to learn. But when we see the Caucasians who have come in and they cut my father-in-law in line. And I told him, sit here, and I see these white ladies cut him. And I said, Pops, what's going on with this? And he's like, oh, no. And I had to, they had to get checked Oakland style. I said, this is old Oakland. And they were like, old Oakland, when sometimes those Karens snoot up their face, and we know what that means. They don't want to deal with us, but they really don't want to deal with us because I'm town business. I'm ready at any point when I'm in Oakland, whether you look like me or you look like somebody else. We have to be on alert. Where Oakland has changed, but the whole world has changed. The same thing that happened in Oakland, we know happened in DC, but also happened in South Africa, and it's happening everywhere. Because if you understand the powers that be, and there's a book called Economics in One Lesson that can go deeper into this and tells you think economics in one lesson. Yeah, economics in one lesson. For the king to be the king on the board, he needs to show what moves he can make, and the queen what moves they can make. And the pawns are limited in their moves, but a pawn can be a very crucial piece in chess if you play chess. There is a shift going on in the world where when everything that used to be wrong is now right. And I don't know, I don't want to get you in trouble with any sponsors or any people.
Oh, tell the truth, yeah.
But y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody can get married now. You can get married to a pig probably in certain places. So there's a shift in certain places like America and Canada that we either are going to adapt to, and the scriptures talk about this. All of them talk about it. But I'm going back to the scriptures from the Ethiopian Bible that doesn't have just 66 books. And that's something deeper where you have to say, wait, you talking about the lost books? They're not lost. They just didn't want you to know about them. But they are there, and they're there. And if you go tap into the history of that and look at it, even from a historical point, you will start connecting the dots for yourself. I can't tell you how to think. I can just tell you the knowledge that's there, and you tap into it how you see it. But Oakland is going through that shift. And please believe in 20 years, we might hear that it's going back to being the hood and everyone's moving back from the Concords, the Walnut Creeks, the Pittsburghs, the Antiochs. And so that shift, I choose not to live in California because I saw this shift and my mother had put me on game when I was 12, said, you can't be here. You're not going to fit in. This is not for you. You need to go out and explore. And so even what's going on in Africa right now, they still haven't shown us all of the beauty of Africa, but through YouTube, everyone's a journalist. So now we all can film and see the beautiful houses. I saw it at 10 because I grew up with Africans just as neighbors. And I'm like, y'all had house help? Ooh, wait. And everything is beautiful. But when we go and take a trip to Kenya and bring 30 people and tears start coming down their eyes because they're staying at the same place the Trumps and the Obamas stayed at. Wow. And they're like, I'm presidential. You were always royalty. But like Nipsey said, he always knew he was great. He just didn't have a platform to show it. And so once you get that platform, and there's a great documentary for free on YouTube, you guys can check it out. I think it's also on Tubi, called Blacks Without Borders. And if you watch that movie, you'll hear somebody say, with my $30 million, I could not create the communication company that I wanted to in America. Then I come to Africa and I'm the biggest telecommunication company on the continent. That's an American Black brother. The same thing with the guy who said, I didn't have a pot to piss in when I came to South Africa. In a few months, I'm sitting with Nelson Mandela. You can't go sit with Trump right now. Trump lived down the street from me. I can't go sit with Trump without, trying to say I'm a rapper or something, and I'm not going to do that. Don't let the red frames fool you. Business is what we talk about. So Oakland is shifting, but so is the world. What we have to ask ourselves as men is, am I going to be part of this shift? Am I going to take the chip? Am I going to fall in line with what they say? I've never been that type of person. So I have a deal with the government that sometimes we go after government contracting, especially for our people. I say, y'all ain't got to kill me. I'll leave quietly. I'll leave because in Africa, I'm going to make noise. But you know what? It's been said to me in so many ways. Nobody will listen to somebody in Africa. Your people won't listen to you if you're in Africa. I don't care how well you try to make it seem. They're going to say you're the lucky one. You're the unicorn. I'm not a unicorn. I'm a hardworking person that doesn't go and buy a bunch of Gucci and everybody else's brand and rather wear my own brand, invest in Africa now, rather get my own websites, mallofafrica.africa, and then show other people how they can make money and not have to put it in the same banks that are snitching on them. And what I mean by snitching on them, you brothers have heard about, the PPE loans and all that.
Right.
Some folks have been caught up in that. The reason they've been caught up is because, one, our people thought that was a free lunch, and it was a fraud, and it is a fraud. They gave certain small businesses money so they could flip the rules. And Forbes did a great article on it about 2 months ago saying how people are going to get fined and go to jail. And now we're seeing especially black people and black entertainers going to jail. I believe the brother from Pretty Ricky just went to has a case. And what happened is people thought that they could use that money for their business. But what it said was you can't take a dividend if you take the government's money. The government is a pimp and you are a hoe. And when you take the pimp's money, you got to listen as the hoe. So that's why the LA Lakers gave that money back so quick, because they started flipping rules with those things. And a dividend is not just your salary. It's not just your distribution of what you take. It is also in your stock if your company has stock. So it can be a various things. So we're going to have black people fighting a case after all this is done. Even if they don't go to jail, they're going to have to pay for a lawyer because they didn't know the rules in the game. They just thought it was free money. So I tell everybody.
So not to cut you off, brother. I want to make sure I understand. So people are taking the money and the government is now saying we control how you use that money, or there's a certain percentage that you have to pay us back with that money. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
The government is saying if you take the money, these are the rules, and they're allowed to change the rules as they see fit. They're also, but what I call the bank a snitch, guess who's snitching on you? The bank who gave you the money. The bank can show what your ledger, and can say this person was making this amount of money and now they're taking out this amount of money. There's various ways they're doing it. But the banks are snitching on the same people they gave money to. So that's how the government knows who to go after.
Oh, that's a damn right.
Also, a friend of mine recently was awarded this loan, this SBA loan, but it hasn't been given to him. Well, he was trying to move banks because the bank that the money was supposed to go through decided he wasn't going to do the right thing with it. So even though the money had been approved, the bank held it up.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't mean to stop your flow, Kellen, but I had to break that down because I want people to really understand it. And thank you, Doc, for sharing that experience, because many of our people don't know. And adding this as a caveat, 45% of African-American businesses have closed or are in the process of closing
because of the pandemic.
This pandemic has not only killed us in literal terms, but it's killed us in figurative terms in our businesses. So this is why this is important for people to tap in and tune into what you're talking about, because it might be, let me take that back. It is time to invest in Africa now.
It's crucial. And, a lot of churches and businesses have closed because for decades, we've told every business, you don't have to have that building. You need a stronger online presence. You need to have your workers who can be more productive. Books like The 4-Hour Work Week have shown many people can be more productive at home in the comfort of their own home, but bosses wanted to, do what bosses do. And overlooking people, and you're not doing that quick enough, and you took a 35-minute lunch break and not a 30-minute, and that's just ridiculous. So now they have to humble themselves, right? But our Black businesses haven't been as involved in the tech and the automation, and they have to read books like The Future is Faster Than You Think. And these are all books at your local library. You can get them free. We ain't even talking about buying anything yet. Now, if I say come buy something, I'm going to say come to my website, my other Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm website, and say, let's put a package together so you're COVID free. Because our clients didn't go out of business. And they go from healthcare to influencers to lawyers. They just learned a better way to do it. Here's a little, if you're a lawyer out there, you're not going to court anytime soon. So everything can be settled out of court, more things than often. So even for the lawyers, there was a way of doing business, but a lot of us lean on our own understanding. And I thank God for a great team, because I don't have to do that. I said, we have a problem and we got a team of people who can help me solve that problem. And when I'm in Africa, I have a team of people who can keep the business afloat when, for things that I may not be able to do at that time. Because when I'm in Africa, I'm chilling for real. And if you go to Africa, you know what I'm talking about. I'm relaxing. I'm eating off the street. I'm talking to people. I'm just having a good old time. I'm getting a $10 to $20 massage, full body, just laid out, just having a good time.
Living the dream, huh?
Yeah.
That's where you go. Where you go, and you go into Cameroon. That's where your wife is from. Where else do you travel and do business in Africa?
So my first trip was to South Africa, and that was when I was in Grambling, going into grad school. I couldn't wait anymore. I said, I'm too old. I've had many opportunities. And again, last year we took 30 people to Kenya. Before that, Brother Phil and Brother Sharif and I, we went to Ethiopia and filmed the documentary there. And, Africa is why it just opened up. Uganda and all these other places are saying, come, come, come. Haven't been to Ghana yet. I can't wait to go to Ghana, but I will tell everybody, Ghana is expensive. You're not going to get the same deal. I'm doing an investment right now in Kenya. It's under $1,000. I'm going to make a lot more than $1,000 just in a simple investment because of the partners that I've gotten. But Zambia is wide open. Botswana has been wide open. It might be a little too late for Botswana, but Botswana's economy is strong.
Mm.
Awesome. Kellen, brother said, I'm gonna need to run.
Okay, brother.
I'm gonna need to move away from it. You all keep talking. I'll be back. Give me about 10 minutes.
Cool. Brother, I want to ask you, is this the website?
Yes, sir. That mallofafrica.africa is the site. And I would tell people right now as a tip, get a .africa domain today. Last year I was able, or maybe it was this year, I was able to speak to Byron Allen at an event, and we were talking about how he bought all the .coms and .tvs, and I have a whole catalog of those. But I also told him, I said, what about .africa though? And that went into a different conversation. But GoDaddy told me this a month ago, that there were 30,000 people or less who have a .africa domain from their research. And some of those domains are $30,000 right now. And so I have .africa domains that I don't even want to tell people which ones I have because they're corporations. You just got to come to me when you want to buy your domain and cash me out because, I don't want to put myself on the radar. But .africa domains are a gold mine if Africa is the future. And you'd be surprised the companies that don't have their .africa domain that are already doing business in Africa.
That is powerful. I want to ask you in terms, first of all, everybody understands the value of Africa, but Africans by and large, whether they be Pan-African or somewhere else in diaspora. I see China. Every time I go on YouTube, I'm seeing another video documenting how that they're building not only infrastructure but they're creating ecosystems of economics in Africa. The Russians are infused in not only the political and the governmental schemes, but also the business schemes. I really want you to etch into the minds of those that are tapped in and listening, because we do have shouts out to a lot of people that tap in and gone on the replay. Can you really break down how important it is for people to get involved in seeing Africa beyond the S-hole comments that was thrown out by 45? And it's kind of ironic that we're bringing this up because it was found out this week that he owed over $200,000 in taxes to China, and China was probably using some of that money to build infrastructure in these so-called S-hole countries that he was referring to. So really, can you talk about the importance of other countries coming in and, Black folks especially getting some of that revenue and getting some of those dividends in Africa?
So when talking about, we're all foreigners when we come to Africa, except we have a special entry into Africa and we're welcomed differently. I asked the elders who are big men like my father-in-law about, China years ago. And he said, what choice do these African countries have? Because when we do business with the West, we spend more money in capacity building than we do on the actual project. So that means that the Western consultants are sometimes getting more money and spending more money than the project and the country's getting. And what we have to ask ourselves as Black people who feel a connection to Africa, and if you don't, that's okay. You don't have to, right? You might feel a connection to somewhere else. And I'm not here to convince anyone, but for those who are, we have to then say, what have we done lately? Like Janet Jackson said, what have we done lately for the continent? We could talk all day. Right now, people are talking about Cameroon, about 8 children plus being killed and wounded because the Amba boys have come in allegedly and, killed kids in the school of their own kind because they're like, wait, if you even think about going against us, it's going to be a problem. Forget that talk. We got to get these people out of here, right? We got to do what we've always known globally, what come together. We think about the Black Panther Party, but you know that the Black Panther Party started from the Deacons of Defense. And
Right.
you guys just write these things down, Google them if you don't know the history. But if you really don't know history, you can't really comment. You should be quiet and learn and get a pencil and a pad and learn from the elders, because that's what I do. I'm just writing stuff down and taking notes and saying, okay, until I can figure out a plan that can put some type of progress or profit into somebody's hand. Because if I can't go give a company in Africa, in an African country, some money, I got to be quiet. I got all the best ideas, but I can't put no money down. Where you do that? That's like talking at a dice game. Oh, man, I bet you going to hit 7. I bet you going to hit that point. But if you don't put no money down on it, you're quiet. You messing up my roll real quick, right?
Yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind when we're talking about Africa. I tell everyone, go visit. See what country is for you. It might not even be the country. We see our brother JT, the bigger figure from the San Francisco Bay Area, Pop Yakala. He's out in Burkina Faso. He doesn't speak the language for nothing, but he's building, creating water wells. You can see it on YouTube every day. He's streaming, whatnot. Don't think that you have to get the okay from JT or anybody to go yourself. The same way we've heard other leaders say they're going to bring schools out there. They might not have time to talk to you individually, but go out there and see what you can build. And what we're doing for my company is we want to take your company and register you in an African country. You pick the country, you go do the research, and we have partners in pretty much all the countries except the northern ones that, they have their own racist views, some of them.
Right.
And we could find partners there, but I choose not to focus where we're not the majority, because we don't need to go to one place to be fighting politics and everything else and looked at as, 1/5 of a person.
Right. And that's extremely important. Leading into that, I want to talk about the business that particularly you mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago with this gentleman that's doing a great job. And I really want people to really pay attention, listen to this, because this could be a transformative opportunity for people to not only build those relationships and do some of those things that you've been talking about in Africa, but more importantly, change the trajectory of their family. When we begin to develop businesses, and I really want people to listen to this, when we begin to develop businesses across international landscapes and globalization, now we can begin to trade. Now we can begin to solidify our businesses. Because, for example, those 45% businesses that failed or have fallen in the United States, imagine if they had partners in Africa that could subsidize and could send them capital and could send them wealth to maintain this difficult time. And I think that that's extremely important, because we can't just think about getting American dollars. No, we have to get other currencies so that we can begin to weather the storm, whether there be some difficult times here in the States, or we can take advantage of booms in other places. So please talk about that opportunity. And I want people to really listen, because it's going to transform not only their lives, but really the landscape of the world.
Definitely. I mean, we always hear in the great books and speakers talk about 7 streams of income. And the fact that a book like this has the business that you are doing already, saying that it's wide open in Africa. And the only thing is you're just not connected. And what our people have to understand is when you move into any expansion, any new city, any new country, there are consultants you're going to have to pay. There are costs you're going to have to pay. A lot of our people, no matter what level they're at, sometimes have a hard problem paying us when we look like them. Oh, I'm not going to give them that money. They're going to be rich off that. You know, that's not even your tithing money, but you're worried about what that person's going to do. You have to shed that off. You also have to understand the cultural differences. And just because you've been to a place once, maybe twice, doesn't necessarily mean you get the culture, because it's a total culture swap. And I've been to 16 plus different countries. I can't tell you every one that I get the culture, but I have to be able to adjust, adapt, and assimilate as best possible so I don't offend them. Not to mean that I'm going to be them, because I'm still an African American. But when I go somewhere, I'm Kellen first. I'm going to be me. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. And if you have, you've made the number one rule. You've gone against the number one rule of business. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Expand. Think about, I had somebody say, hey, I want to, he's a business guy in Sierra Leone. He said, for $25,000, we can create a high-end barbershop. Are you in? And I interviewed the brother on Diversified Game. And I told, we had a good conversation. He does a lot of businesses. And I said, to me, $25,000 for a high-end barbershop in Sierra Leone is just too much.
Too much.
I think you can do it for, lower, because I'm already doing a deal with a beauty salon. And even though it's not my salon, I'm like, I know what she's spending because we talk like that. So I told him, I think we can do it for a different price, but he had some other ideas. Good brother too. So I say all that to say, take your, even the dope dealer knows, hey man, if I make 100,000 this month, let me go put in, let me put 20,000 to my legal fund real quick. You got to be able to, a smart one at least. If you're hustling, hey, I got to throw this money here. Let me bury it in my mom's, backyard or something. You have to diversify and throw your money elsewhere. Don't go buy the chain. Don't buy the Gucci. I've seen people buy, $300,000 car, $100,000 car just because they hit a lick. And it's like, think about if you would have put that money into a team and really helped your people and said, show me how to make a business in a whole different country. I don't even need that much money to do that. I told you $3,000 a month in Africa to live on. You are rich with a family. You are paying what we pay a house help in Africa, and we're overpaying $150 a month. They're washing kids. They're cooking the kids. My driver, $150 a month. My driver, when I say I want to go somewhere, we're going.
Yeah, make sure you correct that. They're not cooking the kids. They're cooking for the kids.
They're cooking for the kids. You know, I got a little dyslexia, so.
Crazy. Yeah,
man. Hey, but you know what? My house help is family. So if my kids get out of line, they can also correct them with that old school, you know, they might be cooking them with that switch or with that belt. We didn't have that because we had a great time, but my kids are no different than anybody else's kids, and they can come out of pocket. And I want to have some loved ones there that can correct them with love. Correct. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about the business that you mentioned to me a couple weeks ago. Go into the specifics of that. Because
so the AfricaInvestmentGuide.com, you scroll down, right-hand side, Ty Nichols. He's a real estate agent here. He's an appraiser here in America. He's from America. He's from Atlanta. He lives in Tampa. He's bringing in December 10 people to Africa to house them in his houses that he owns, to feed them at least 3 meals a day. And the reason why you're going to pay him the $3,000 for this is he's going to show you how to make money. So that alone, and someone showing you how to make money in a different country, and it's probably going to be more than $3,000 because the average commission is $6,000, as I aforementioned, that's gold. We pay for courses and events here all day. We'll spend $1,000, $2,000. We'll pay for a course that's supposed to make us residual income. Half of them are BS. Because why? You're not even going to do the work. You're not going to put the work in. So he's going to take you to another country. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you have a driver. Make sure you have, everything you need. And if you don't want to do real estate, the cherry on the top is if you have another business, he will help you create your business there. Now, he's not a consultant. I just want to make that clear. So his help is going to be like, hey, I'm going to take you to show you how to get your business registered. I can put you in contact with some people, but real estate is his thing. He has real estate all over Africa. So that's the business. It's that simple. You pay him $3,000. You buy your ticket, which is about $1,100 now if you're coming from the East Coast. And you're going to learn how to make money in Africa so you can stay. If you want to stay for longer than a month, he's not going to kick you out. He wants you to stay as long as you want. He's going to charge you probably about $750 for the month to stay in the program, stay in his house, stay being fed, until you want to go out on your own and do what you want. But he's not going to rush you because he's trying to build a team. Heck, he might even hire you.
So the real estate market out there is very lucrative. I mean, when we're talking about real estate here in the States, it depends on location. It depends on, where certain things are and what is the exclusivity of those particular locales. What makes a property valuable out there? Is it the same tenements or is it something different? Does the government play a part or a role in how real estate works? And I know those are probably questions I need to ask him, but from your knowledge and, the deals that you've done, how does it really work out there so we can get that money?
So the difference in the real estate in Africa is majority of people are paying cash. Loans are still a new thing.
Damn.
So you're not going to have to wait on your money. You're not going to have to worry if someone defaults because it's going to pretty much be a cash deal. The houses in Africa, I don't care what house you live in. The houses in Africa probably are going to be the ones we're talking about are probably going to be nicer than what you live in, because if you've ever seen the houses in Africa, watch Wodamaya, watch Dynasty Mir, watch whoever you want to watch on YouTube who's going to Africa more than, we go, and you'll be like, this is a compound, you could fit 5 families in this place. So that's the difference. So if you go buy a house in Africa, even if somebody does rent it, they're paying by the year. They're not paying by the month. So
Wow.
my wife and I, we almost got in trouble when we had our house in Texas because we would pay by the year for our mortgage, right?
Right.
And I believe it was about the third year, the mortgage company said, you know what? You guys, we don't want you to do that anymore. It's almost like you're evading taxes because you're paying so far in advance. I said, hey, this is a cultural difference. You should be worried if I don't pay, but I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You can talk to my lawyer if you got a problem. Because when you say evading taxes, now you're looking to try to build a case. And you got to talk to the lawyer about that. We're not evading taxes. I'm paying my bills. I get to choose when I pay my bills, especially when I'm paying them far in advance.
Right.
So, but that's just the way that I've been trained to pay my bills. Pay your light bill a year in advance and see when that bill comes through in the mail. You're like, man, let me throw that in the trash. I ain't tripping off that bill. I wish a bill would come through here.
And that's kind of smart now that I think about it, because every year there's a rate increase. So if you're paying it at that price, you could potentially, I don't know if this is always true, but you could potentially lock in the rate at which you're paying it at. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what they were accusing us of doing, because when they changed the rate, we don't pay that because we've already paid the bill in full. But my cars are paid in advance. Even if I lease a car, I'll do a lease. I'll do a 1-payment lease at the dealership. I don't want to hear from y'all again. I'm done. So, if you want a fancy car, or not a fancy car, just pay that thing one time and be done with it. And you never have to worry. You're COVID proof.
Interesting. And as you mentioned COVID, I know that there are a lot of people who are concerned and worried and filled with fear and all of that stuff that actually keeps money away from you. Can you talk about what you've done in terms of helping clients and helping individuals realize that you can be COVID free in terms of your economics, and you can make money even in this climate? There's ways in which to make money, and you share some ideas with me, and I love for you to share some ideas with others, because really that's your forte in terms of, and I'm a living witness, man. I remember 20 years ago, brother, you was getting it, you know what I'm saying? And, we was in school getting it, you know what I mean, in the dorms and all over the campus getting it, you know what I mean? So I know I can attest and see how everything's grown and groomed and cultivated. So I really want you to drop some game on some people so that they know that don't feel down, don't feel bad, be encouraged. You just got to get the right technique and the right game so that you can diversify.
So the beauty about COVID, and again, moving from Seattle, where the Black community is very highly educated, average income can be $80,000, but they're still impacted, especially during these times, for the person who's on food stamps, right? But relocating to Florida and being, seeing how you have Black towns, in the South, and to see how folks have taken even their culinary skills and said, I'm going to sell that. I'm gonna push, because if you can sell, and listen to me, folks, listen to me behind the words. If you can sell one thing, you can sell everything. Sales and sales. You just have to shift that. A lot of times what happens with us is we get caught up in what we did at 16 and think we had to do that at 26. And it's because we haven't expanded our game. We haven't expanded our reading. I try to read a book a week. That's my goal. Like the great Miles Monroe, he taught my wife and I that. Read a book a week and see how your life changes. See how much more you know than the average person. And then give that game to them, but don't be grounded in that game of theirs, because it's like the movie American Pimp, man. I'm going to take it back to that, right? I'm going to take it back to that. If you got a pimp who's just a street dude, he can't tell you how to go make money at the club core. He can't tell you how to really get it, because the pimp is supposed to graduate too. You ain't supposed to be pimping your whole life. The only people who are pimping their whole life is the government, because it's a pimp whole game. And they take that tax before you even see your check. And that's why they're mad about this thing like Bitcoin and Forex and all these things that I can shift money from here to there and they don't know about it. But you got to be willing to shift. You also have to be willing to humble yourself and ask people, how can I get this game? And what do I have to do? And yeah, you might have to pay for it from a person. you know, because this ism is for pay. The game is to be sold and not told. But you can also do like Said and I do, is get yourself a show where you can have guests come on and they can give you the game for free because that's part of their community give back. And then you ain't got to pay for it like that. And you can get the game and then learn how you can be of value to other people. Because a lot of people, period, think they're smart. Mm-hmm. But they say the wise man knows that he knows nothing at all.
That's right.
And that you can always learn. You can learn from the homeless person. You can learn from the drug addict. You know who I still say is the smartest person I've met? Elijah the prophet. And we know he didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for anything. Ask him about any subject and he knew about it.
Man, he was dope. He was dope. You know, I still rap with him every now and then, man. He's still getting it in. Yeah, man. That's powerful.
DC.
That's powerful. That's powerful, man. I'm happy you mentioned him because it's people out there getting money. You know what I'm saying? And I really want people to understand, like, you know, don't let the media, don't let everybody get you to believe there ain't no money out there. You know, Jeff Bezos has made $440 billion just in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And you know, 77 billion or something crazy like that in the last couple months. So it's money to be made. It's just, you know, how to get it. Going back to those 100 ways to make money in Africa, you know, what is something folk can do starting this week that can maybe bring some bread their way and also build relationships, because using social media is pivotal. Using the internet is critical to begin to develop those relationships and then start doing those commerce and those e-commerce deals. So drop some game on that right quick.
And so if you want to make money in anything, what's your purpose, first of all? And to ask yourself that, what is your purpose? If you don't know your purpose, you can't really get a plan, right?
Right.
And if you don't know your purpose and it might take a minute, okay, I get it. But what are you great at naturally? A lot of us are great talkers. A lot of us have good charisma. A lot of us have great soft skills, which, again, Africa has the same thing. So you ain't going to go out there and hustle anybody, right? But one thing we know here are systems. And so you have to create a system. A great mentor to this day of ours that we pay monthly, Stella Isong from Cameroon. She has a system if you want to have a companion care business, which we do have. And she told me years ago that everything is about a system. And I said, you're right. As long as you have a system, you don't even know the things you could do. See, back in the day, Said, and now I'm going to go bring up Grambling. We had a system for who came in our front door and when they left and who came in after them. There was a system so no two would meet, right? You could do that when it comes to, you know, hey, it's about 11 o'clock. You want to watch a movie, but you haven't created a system for how to make money. So you need to get upset at yourself for a second for wasting that time focused on the club, focused on the dating, focused on everything else that didn't make the bottom line to feed your babies or your future babies or yourself or to get off your mama's couch. You got to create that system for something. So there's so many things. You could do drop shipping for shirts like this and make a mint. I've made some money off shirts. I've made some money so much where I saw most of the people who were buying my shirts were women. So I said, let me go make the thongs next. I did that while we were in Grambling, you know?
Yeah, and, you sure did.
Yeah. And because I saw the gap, because I got the Yin Yang Twin song, Beat the Kitty Up, before everybody else, because that was the business I was in, entertainment. So I said, oh, this is going to be a hit. Let me make a nice design and let me put it out there. I'm traveling, you know, here, there. And I made a system the same way with the magazines in Grambling. I had KO selling them for $2, $1 a piece, whatever. He would give me a certain amount of money. You got to create a system. So right now I would tell people, get with somebody who is more established than you. Ask them what it's going to take. They might be a consultant like me where we have packages and I try to make them as affordable as possible for people because I want to work with everybody because I have a team. And so I'm like Miss Cleo. You might not get me on the phone, but you're going to get my team, right? And R.I.P. to Miss Cleo. But but I want to touch everybody. Said, let me help you. But if you don't want to help yourself, I can't help you. If you know too much, like I was telling you about the PPE loans and all that, I was telling a sister that the other day, and she was like, oh no, but I know the law because I studied. I said, no, you don't know the law. You didn't study nothing. You might have read something, but you didn't study it. There's a difference between you reading it. I am studying this book where if you go through the things, you can see where I'm underlining every page. I'm studying this book. I'm not reading this book. This book has already made me $1 million in the first 10 pages. And I don't mean literally, but all I have to do is take this and say, let me create a system. So there's so many ways they could make money. They could go on mallofafrica.africa and take that $600, I think it is, and say, let me put $200 towards an investment in Africa that is going to pay me back more money than the bank. Because I wasn't going to do nothing with it but buy some Hennessy and, or, you know, go buy some Nikes. You know, I got to come raw with it. I got to, I just got to say, because I can remember, Said, when you and I had these same cups, and I'm going to tell you guys something about Said. He's not going to want me to tell this. But Said had this same cup, and he was driving, and I said, what's in that cup? He said, this is the South. This is how we do it. We have our cups in the car. And I said, I'm green to that. Because in California, good night. So, but in the South, it's a little different. So we have to learn from people like you, from people like myself, what are we doing that is winning? And what can we do to win like that? Because I'm not a unicorn. You're not a unicorn. We've just put in the work. And we're not, people saying, hey, look, I got 4 wives over here, or hey, y'all need to give me more donations. I'm not asking you for that. I'm earning my money. I'm not the pastor. I'm not trying to pimp my people. I earn my money. So that's what we got to do. We got to stop looking at what looks flashy, because I could show you a nice flashy car. That don't mean nothing because you don't know how I got it. But let me show you taking my kids to various countries. Let me show you that, because I can't put that on credit. Not the way I like to go. I have credit cards, but I pay them as soon as I swipe. I pay the money because I follow the Dave Ramsey plan. I don't want to owe anybody anything. Straight up.
I did want to ask this. I'm glad you brought up Grammy, man, because you got me thinking about how we used to sell Zim, your cousin, and we used to sell that Popeye's chicken, man. And you know what I'm saying, we go in those dorms and sell that chicken, and I never will forget how, brothers would thank us. And matter of fact, man, I was 10 years later, I was walking through the streets, man, and this brother came up to me, man, thank you, Chicken King. And the Chicken King, like, who was it? And he was like, man, you saved our lives, in them dorms with that chicken. And the thing that I think about now is like those small little things that we did, now we're to do those things and cultivate those things, and now doing bigger and better things, man, and it's a blessing. And the reason why I share that is because wherever you are, I know a lot of people I meet, they have a very limited scale. They might be pushing maybe a couple thousand a month or whatever the case may be. But one of the things that I can honestly say, and I learned this also from you as well, that's why I'm bringing it up so you can tap into it, is that don't think about it just now. Realize that if you have a system in place and it works, and you continue to build those relationships, greater capital will come. Just like you mentioned, with the gentleman that has the properties in Africa and whatnot, you'll build those better relationships, and you'll be able to invest and create greater residual income and revenue. So I really want, as we get ready to shut it down or whatever, really want you to talk about the importance of building your brand, building your platform, and sharing some game on that so people will know that Rome wasn't built overnight, but if you continue to do things right, it will come and it will be built.
And I put the Mall of Africa in the chat just so, you know, some people will see things and they won't want to Google. They just want it direct. So I put that. So, you know, it wasn't built overnight in the same way y'all were selling, you know, chicken. And I know Zim got in, you know, in trouble for selling CDs of all things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tried to sell barbecue. I tried to make barbecue and throw it through the dorms, Pinchback and all the dorms. And folks like, we don't want no barbecue. You know, they wanted the chicken that y'all had. So, but people looked at us like, you know, because I remember with my wife, she would, you know, pass out the flyers throughout the dorms and, man, we don't want no barbecue. What you talking about some barbecue? And I'm thinking, man, we don't have a barbecue spot, you know, in Grambling. There's nothing where we can get some just straight links, some ribs, you know, whatever, right? So you have to start now. It won't happen overnight. I am now just reaping the benefits of 2 decades of work. You know, really, if I could say 3 decades, because I was in middle school bringing the dominoes and the dice to recess, saying I'm the house. You know, I'm going to give it to you guys real. I've always wanted to make my own money. I never wanted to just rely on somebody because I didn't, you know, I had it very good, but I didn't want to think that this was all, my mama was always going to be there for me. I wanted to put gas in my car. I wanted to pay my cell phone bill. You know, we see right now folks are bragging about they WAP. Man, tell me what's in that pocketbook. You know, you don't cook, you don't clean. You are a despicable person. I don't care how much money you have. You don't think about that. Our folks, and they're playing it on the radio, are bragging how they don't cook or clean.
Straight up.
That's the basics of being an adult. But you're saying that your vagina is wet and that guys are going to get excited about that and be like, miss me with that. Tell me where the bag is in case something happens to me. And we know black men usually die, you know, first.
That's right.
I'm building this empire. So what? Somebody who can't cook and clean can do what with it? Has to go find another me, and you're not going to find another me. You got to go to the other side of the world. And for those of you know who I got that from, you know where I got that from because I referenced it. You know, it's just crazy to me what we value. So for somebody who might have lost their job, I know people who lost their job, they create a business like that. They're getting over 10 grand a month for each client because they said, look, I worked in HR. I can do the same thing for these companies that need me because entrepreneurs need to be organized. But how do you come into somebody's circle that's already winning? You don't have to get on your knees. You don't have to kiss the ring, but you do have to show your value, work in your purpose. You know, I work with women all day and I tell them all, if anybody disrespects you in my organization, let me know. But it doesn't happen because everybody I know, they know that's not what we're doing.
Right.
This is my name on the line. So for anybody who wants to make money now, go to cprfirm.as.me or you can email me and set up a session. You know, the first session can be an hour for $100. Very reasonable amount of money. And let's talk about what your business could be or what it is so you can go to the next level. If you're one of those and say, I'm not going to pay nobody, cool. You're already too smart. You're smarter than me, and everybody else. It's all right. Again, I pay somebody and I like to buy courses because I need to invest in me. I'm not investing in them. I'm investing in me. I'm getting 3 decades of knowledge from people so I don't have to go through the same mistakes they went through.
Man, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy right there, dude. You just dropped some serious science on folk. And I'm happy that you were able to come on and tap in. We definitely got to have Phil back on because, you know, people have to understand that when you're around people who are successful, you become more successful, or you should, right? That's the hope. And the thing that I really want to etch in people's minds that I used to hear from you all the time, you know what I'm saying, is you got to get the game. I remember back in the days you used to say that, man, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we feel pain, we feel problems, we feel stressed out. and we forget, get the game, and you can play the game. Otherwise, you're going to get played by the game. And I think that it's now time for us to start doing our thing. As we've seen, nobody's going to come for us. One of the things that I tell people all the time with all the stuff that's going on in the political climate, they don't even know your name, and they could care less what your name is, right? So you got to take care of your name, and you got to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to give yourself the power necessary to win in this game. I don't just want to survive. I want to thrive. I want to succeed and be successful, just like my boy Kellen. So please etch into the people's mind that they need to do what they need to do to get this game so that they can start doing their thing.
So I love to give references, because if I tell people something, they'll say, that's, again, you're special, or, whatever. I went to a conference about a month ago, the DITDE.com. Mm-hmm. All of this, if you guys go on Diversified Game and you follow, subscribe, whether it's a podcast or on the YouTube, Diversified Game, that conference, one of the brothers said something. He basically said he suffered in the West, right? He said, I came back to Africa, because he was originally from there, but he grew up in the Americas. Uh-huh. He said, they gave me $5 million just for my business. I said, what? He said, they just gave it to me. But I believe it, because Judea was there. So many different people, business-wise, bigger than Judea, were there.
Who's Judea? Just for those that don't know, who's Judea?
I'm a classic, man.
Yeah.
He was, I'm just using him as a big name reference, but there were people who could write Judea's check, right? And there were $5 million they gave him for a business. If you read this book, there are people in this book. I'm not even finished with this book myself, because again, I'm studying this book, 101 Ways. There are people who started their business with $3,000 in this book, and I've referenced and double checked. Their business is over $1 million with $3,000. Now, what is it going to take you people to say, okay, there's money in Africa. I got to take my money. I'm making, $20,000 a month. I'm making $10,000. I'm making $5,000. What is it going to take for me to push that over to Africa? If you don't feel it inside of you, or if you don't contact me or someone like me, because I'm not the only one who does this. At the Mall of Africa, there's other people who do this same type of work that I'm giving props to, because they do work like I do. And if I'm an acquired taste, maybe they're best suited for you. So the DITDE.com had people getting so much money, and they were telling their story. But you got to start with everything. You got to start. You want to find a good wife, you got to go speak to good women. And you got to be in those places, whether it's church or wherever, work, and say, hey, I'm interested in you. Closed mouth doesn't get fed. You want a good job, you got to fill out the application. You want a good business, you got to start. You got to go check out your SBAs. You got to check out your P-Tax. You guys feel free to email me. I'm going to come out with some courses that I'm going to do for a very reasonable amount of money. And I'm going to be teaching people different subjects that I know. But in that teaching, they're going to get that time with me. And I'm doing this for the world, because I don't want to just charge you $1,000. I want to charge you like $10 a month to come get all the courses you want, something like that. It's going to be in that range, and you can get the game. And if you want a one-on-one session, again, $100 for the hour, you get me for now, because I want to make it. I don't want to charge you $300, $400 like some of my counterparts. They're worth it. I'm priceless, but I want to talk to you and connect with you to get you started. And I know if I say $400, you're going to say, oh, that's my Louis belt. Oh, that's my cell phone bill, which that's too much to pay for a cell phone bill. Absolutely. Some of y'all got cars you can't afford. You need to send that car back and listen to Dave Ramsey, because he has $70 million worth of real estate paid for. But who do you want to be? You want to be the Migos, or you want to be, the folks who are writing the Migos check?
Straight up, man. I love how you talk about the real estate, especially in Africa. I'm here to tell you now, that's where it is. That's where all of the major bigwigs are going. Not only Bill Gates for the vaccines and all of those things, but think about that. The land in of itself, you know, that land has not only been biblical and definitely in the Quran as well, historic, but it's vital. The minerals and all of the resources that are on the land, and the most valuable resources, the human beings. Even what we're seeing in Nigeria, we're seeing there's a fight for the land. And I think that we really have to wake up and understand that not only is our wherewithal in developing greater economic and streams of revenue, but also our ties and our bonds to our political and social and biological brethren. And I appreciate you, brother, for, you know, stepping out there and being a leader, and definitely someone who's helping us better understand how to be a man and how to protect our family. I do want to ask you to, again, please share with people the reality that Africa is a beautiful place. And in December, hopefully, I know it hasn't been found out conclusively, but hopefully in December, you'll be able to take a group of folk. And man, if the numbers are right in terms of the days, I'm gonna go, man. You know what I'm saying? And check out what y'all doing. So I just got to see if the days are right, and I'll definitely go.
Okay, no, Africa is everything that you expect, and even what you don't expect. I remember walking late night with my children, you know, even through Cameroon. And I'm like, you know what's great about this? The power was out at the time, because that happens in a place like Cameroon, not all of Africa, but in Cameroon. And we were safe as can be. As loving, you don't have to worry about, you know, anything. Does crime happen? Crime happens here more than anything. What you have to know is whenever you leave this country, even when y'all go to Jamaica, even when y'all go to Mexico and go on the resorts, this whole lift of I'm not a nigga, because you're not a nigga. You know, that's an ignorant person. That shit that comes off of you. And it's easy for me to say, but when you feel it, you're like, I don't have anything to worry about. I'll give you a quick story. A brother came, we were in Mombasa, Kenya, and while we were all eating, he took a walk around. And he had his headphones on. Now, this is a brother truck driver. I still have my CDL, right? Because I still consider myself a truck driver, right? Even though I own the company. He said, some brothers came up to me and said, oh, nice headphones. He's from Compton, around that area. He said, oh, you like my shoes too? They're like, yeah, those are nice. He's like, you want to come take them? Because his mind wasn't, he's in defense mode. They don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Why would we want to take his shoes? If we wanted to take them, we would not have mentioned, we would have killed you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody want to do that to you. You're a foreigner. We understand that. We love you. We love that you're here. You're stimulating our economy. You're giving us that validation. So you get that off of you. And even though I live in a very comfortable life, still when I go there, it's even more comfortable, even if I'm in a slum like Kibera. Kibera is the biggest slum in Nairobi, or they say in Kenya. I'm looking to do business there. And the Mall of Africa, .Africa, the point is for you to be able to do business there too, where you can put your money. And I want to give people just a little plan what I'm trying to do. If you invest in Africa and you set up a business there, right? Now you're in line to be a resident there. In different countries. The Mall of Africa also tells you where you can be a citizen, where you can be a resident, and all that. Now you can be a resident. So even if it's a business and it's only making a little bit of money, now you can start to file your papers to say, I have a business in Africa and it can only grow, and that I can be a resident. Then maybe I can go for citizenship, because some countries have different rules on citizenship. So the fact that you're looking to shift this is a plantation in America. The whole thing is to tell you don't go anywhere else. It's nowhere else is going to treat you better than Zaddy right here.
Right.
Nothing else is going to be better than the lights on here. You don't have to worry about the lights coming off. But guess what? In Africa, you can get solar. You have your rainwater that's collected. So you don't have to worry about the government for your water. Don't worry. God is going to provide all of that. You know, don't worry about, you got solar. He's going to provide all of that. You talk about the Quran. If you know the relationship between the holy books, you know, everything is everything, and that he has sheep of a different fold. You ain't got to worry about that, because everywhere you go in Africa, you're either going to have Christian, Muslim, and if you go to Ethiopia, you're going to have the Jews that even the Israeli, so-called Israeli Jews, you know, I don't want to get you in trouble on that. but because we know who we are. We know we're part of that 12 tribe. We lead the tribe. Wherever we go, our culture defines other cultures, and they want to be us. They want to dance. We say we created rap. We put rap on its platform, but if you really look at the history of music, you'll know that rap, you could say, started in Africa. You know, and that's not a diss on anything. I've written a whole thesis on the whole system of rap, but we're all one people, so we can go wherever we want to go. We can go to Guatemala, where we were shipped off, and they got our own culture. We can go to Acapulco, where we got negritos and all that. We're everywhere. So if it's not Africa, look at South America. Look at Central. We're everywhere. In Asia, we're everywhere. But you got to start, and you got to put your money towards something more positive than brand labels and TV. I haven't had cable in over 10 years. I haven't missed a thing. I put things on TV. I sit at the NATPE and at the conferences putting things on TV, but I don't have cable. And I could count that as an investment. I could have my business pay for my cable. I don't have it because I'm not missing anything.
Wow, that's powerful, brother. That's very, very powerful. I'm happy that we were able to bring you on tonight. And please go to Advise TV on YouTube and become a subscribe.
African Diaspora News Channel is what it's called now.
Yes, man. You know what I'm saying? Over 1 million subscribers. It's the most popular watched Black news entity on the internet. And I definitely see if we can bring the brother Phil on next week or the week after so that we can tap people into that. Thank you, brother, for all this game. You definitely got to come back on and drop some more science on us, you know what I'm saying, as you always do. It's a beautiful thing to see you shining, and I'm happy, man, you know what I'm saying, all these years you still staying connected to what's real and shining your light. Want people to reach out to you. Shout out the website one more time.
mallofafrica.africa. You guys can also go to cprfirm.com. You have any direct questions, you can hit me up. Look, I go as bold as this. My phone number is public information. I get so many calls. You'll get an automated text if you call me. But the phone number is 925-367-5478. It hasn't changed since I was about 13 years old. And I have a system of even capturing those calls and being able to assess who you are. My email, kc@cprfirm.com. I'm very accessible to get to. All I say is you have greatness in you. It doesn't matter what your background is, what you've gone through. I promise you, I've gone through it. I'm not going to shed all the tears and say this and that, whether it's legal issues or, you know, physical issues. I get it. But we have to have extreme ownership, which is a book. And we have to say everything that we've done in life, I have to take responsibility for. Because I put myself in that situation, right? And you got greatness in you just because God gave that to you. I didn't give it to you. All I'm going to do is help highlight that. So I thank you for having me on, brother. Anytime, I'm going to reach out to Phil and let, you know, everybody know that this is a great show to come on.
Hey, man, thank you, brother. And, you know what I'm saying, in those words of power, we got to hit y'all with some more power. Kellen, we're going to have you on soon. And I appreciate you, dear brother. And let's keep doing our thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to get stronger and stronger. So we're going to definitely get back into the show. That was Kellen. Please reach out to that brother.